Shadow Minister for Women, Tanya Plibersek, who is joining us from Sydney this morning. Tanya Plibersek, appreciate your time today. Firstly, Anthony Albanese's first week. How has he gone in your assessment?
Well, Anthony made a mistake at the beginning of the week and he took full responsibility. And you contrast that with Scott Morrison. Every time something goes wrong for Scott Morrison, he goes running, he goes missing or looks around for someone else to blame. But I think the really important thing here is getting back onto what makes a real difference in people's lives. And everywhere I'm travelling, what people tell me is that under Scott Morrison, life's got harder. We know that this government has a deliberate policy to keep wages low. Their own ministers have said so. So with wages flatlining and the cost of living going through the roof, families feel more stretched than ever. Rent's gone up, petrol's gone up, childcare's gone up. The cost of living is really taking a toll on ordinary working families. And with everything going up but wages, people are feeling more stretched than ever. And I think that's what this election will be about. Scott Morrison's got no answers. And in contrast, Anthony's got a great plan to make sure that we build more things in Australia, that we make more things in Australia, that we've got good, secure jobs. When you work hard, you get a pay rise. We've got a health system, an aged care, childcare system that actually supports families when they need help.
All right. You have to admit, though, it hasn't been a good look for the Labor Party the last few days with Anthony Albanese's mistakes earlier on. Yesterday, that press conference was cut short. Is he rattled? Is the campaign under pressure?
You know what? We've got a Prime Minister that'll happily turn up for the photo op, but he's never there for the follow-up. Anthony is always there to step up, speak up, take responsibility, and that's just such a contrast between the two men. It wasn't a great start. Anthony's been really clear. He made a mistake, but he turns up and says, you know, hand up, I made a mistake. Scott Morrison, slow vaccine rollout, no quarantine, hundreds of deaths, COVID deaths in aged care facilities. He went missing during the bushfires. He was missing during the floods. He's never there to take responsibility when Australians need him. That's the contrast. A
poll today in the Australian Financial Review has found that Anthony Albanese is regarded as dull, disinterested, uninspiring and too negative. That's hardly an endorsement.
Oh, look, there's, you know, goodness me, there's so many polls. There'll be a different poll every week. We know that Anthony also polls as one of the most trusted politicians in Australia. I don't know if Scott Morrison's on that list. So we've got 6 weeks till the campaign. We'll be out there every day talking to people about what matters in their lives. Secure work, a pay rise when they work hard, Medicare when they need it, better quality aged care for our older Australians after years of neglect under this government, cheaper childcare, lower power bills. These are the things that make a difference in people's lives. We've got a vision for this country that once again has us, working hard to export to the world, seeing rising standards of living at home. That's our vision. Instead, you've got, in contrast, you've got a Prime Minister who has presided over life getting harder for ordinary Australians, wages going backwards, the cost of living going through the roof. That's what this election is about.
Tanya Plibersek, why aren't you featuring more on the campaign? Could Anthony Albanese do with your help?
I've been featuring pretty a lot.
All right, but what about alongside him right now?
I've been in 6 marginal seats.
What about alongside the leader?
It's important that our senior... I'm sure I'll catch up with Anthony during the campaign, but the last couple of days I've been in Brisbane. I think I was in 6 different marginal seats. I'm off to the South Coast and Tasmania next week. And this is a really busy time for all of the senior Labor people, and Anthony's doing a great job. He's got people travelling with him, and you know I'm hopefully doing my share of campaigning in other parts of Australia. I've been visiting a lot of marginal seats already during this campaign, and I'm looking forward to visiting a lot more and talking about what matters to ordinary Australians. Their wages going backwards, This government has said that that is a deliberate design feature of their economic architecture. That is a quote from this government about low wages. I don't want that for the future of Australia. I don't want us to be a low-wage country. And I do want life to be easier for ordinary Australians. That's why I'm campaigning so hard for a Labor win, because we've got the plans that'll turn that around.
A Liberal candidate believes transgender women should not participate in women's sport. What do you think?
Well, the Sex Discrimination Act already allows sporting codes to make this decision for themselves. So I reckon with a bit of common sense and a bit of common decency, we can work through this. What's really disappointing is we've got a Prime Minister who wants to get into this to divide Australians rather than bring them together. I think, you know, I'm just perplexed at a time when we've got debt heading to $1 trillion, we've got wages going backwards, we've got the cost of living going through the roof, we've got, you know, international insecurity, that the Prime Minister's actually focusing on this stuff rather than doing the job of Prime Minister, which is making sure that the living standards, the wages, the job security, the national security of Australians is looked after.
Tanya Plibersek, we have to leave it there. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.